YouTube, on our website. And boy, that was a great day on Eldridge Street. I could not be more blessed and honored to have such incredible people involved in the work we're doing in this festival, and the top experts in the field of klezmer music and Yiddish theater and Yiddish literature and Yiddishkeit in general. So tonight, we are here with a very special pair of guests. You've just watched this movie, A Great Day on Eldridge Street. Well, Yale Strom, who I can call a friend for many, many years. Not only does he play the violin and compose, and he's a filmmaker, a writer, a photographer, a playwright, he's one of the world's leading ethnographer artists of klezmer music and history in the world. His research was instrumental in helping form the repertoires of his klezmer band Hot Pastrami. And since his first band, he's performed at the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra, the Denver Center production of Tony Kushner's The Dybbuk. He's composed music for NPR, Jewish short stories from the old world to the new, Fiddlers, Philosophers, and Fools, hosted by our very own Leonard Nimoy, Oliver Sholem, who spoke a beautiful Yiddish. He's done 15 CDs, and he's the first klezmer musician to ever perform at the United Nations General Assembly. He's the author of the Book of Klezmer. He's directed 9 award-winning documentary films, and The Last Klezmer was shortlisted for an Academy Award nomination. Klezmer on Fish Street won the 2003 Palm Beach International Film Festival's Special Jury Selection Award, and American Socialist won the 2017 Audience Choice Best Film Award at the Workers United Film Festival in New York City. But all I can say about Yale Strom is that his greatest accomplishment is getting the beautiful and talented Elizabeth Schwartz to marry him and be his partner in Mishigas. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Yale Strom and Elizabeth Schwartz. Shalom Aleichem, Yale.
Aleichem Shalom.
Shalom Aleichem, Elizabeth. What's herzig? Where are you guys?
You forgot a few things. I'm also a plumber. I do construction and drywall.
Yes. Since we can't have anybody coming in now.
What did they used to say about the guys? They call them the schmears.
Right, the schmears. Right. But you don't do fenster.
No,
right?
I don't do fenster.
No fenster. No. So Yale, you guys are where right now? In San Diego, am I right?
We're in beautiful San Diego, in the state that's beautiful, though, despite the fires and everything else we're dealing with.
Oh, it's terrible. The tragedies that are going on in the world are just unbelievable. But look at what we are able to do technologically. We are getting together with the greatest Yiddishistic talents in the world. And we're bringing entertainment to everybody in their homes. And I could not be more grateful to have the two of you as part of our festival. So Ashenim and Hartzigen Dank. So before I let you guys do your concert, which I can't wait for, I'm remembering when you and I worked on a play that you wrote, that I did a reading of at the, what was the name of the theater?
The San Diego Repertory Theater? Repertory?
It wasn't at San Diego Rep. It was halfway
to the North Coast Rep.
North Coast Repertory Theater. We did a little workshop. It was called Verdigris.
Right. It's today, good memory. Today it's called, I just changed it similar. It's called The Education of Herschel Grinspan.
I cannot wait for the opportunity to put that thing on in better days.
In Florida, we're going to do it.
Not just in Florida. It's a beautiful piece. We could talk about it later. But ladies and gentlemen, just sit back and relax and enjoy the incredible incredible talents of Yale Strom and his beautiful wife, Elizabeth Schwartz. I'll see you at the end, and then we'll schmooze. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Have
you,
fun.
everybody.
We're
Okay.
so happy to be here. And I have to tell all of you who are watching a little secret, which is all of us who are participating in this festival are thrilled to be participating in the festival and working and being together. But the real secret is we all love Avi.
Yes. So
Oh.
we'll start off with our first tune, an instrumental tune, an upbeat piece, and some know it as a kolomeka, a circle dance from the Ruthenia region of southern southwestern Ukraine, where a lot of interesting ethnic groups lived in close proximity, Ruthenians and Romanians and Jews and Roma and Poles and Slovaks and Hungarians and Ukrainians, etc. So it has a mixture. So we'll start off with something upbeat. We'll change the feel throughout this next half hour or so. So thank you for listening. Tell others, and here we go, the kolomeka. right.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Now we're getting
Oh,
warmed up.
yeah.
Now we're getting warmed up.
Ois geht zeichen, man.
Oh, hartstikke Dank.
Our hearts in it down.
Love that.
So let's see what Elizabeth has up on the plate,
Up on the plate.
on the stand.
This is actually a song that was originally written for children, a poem written for children in the Soviet Union. In the 20s, the composer Shmuel Polanski set it to music. And we recorded this on a whole CD of Polanski's music called City of the Future. And there were some wonderful artists, other wonderful singers, some of whom are participating in this festival, who were on it. And this was my duet with Judy Bressler, and I miss her very much. So I'm going to be thinking about her while I'm doing this. But I thought maybe a song about work, since we just had Labor Day and we're all trying our best to work in these weird times.
That's right. These Chidna time, Satan.
Shouldn't say.
Yeah.
Winter, spring, fall, and summer in my town from early dawn. In a narrow, strange room, girls sit at sewing machines. A needle leaps and thrusts sharply down, as sharp as the girls who sew. As is her habit, in the evenings, Huddle and the girls go to the club room quietly. Huddle speaks her piece about labor and the Comintern. Her words pierce through just like her needle, as all the others listen and learn. Winterfrühling, Herbst im Zimmer, in mein Städtel Finn beginnen, in a schmollen, fremden Zimmer, nähen medlich Baumaschinen, nähen medlich Baumaschinen. Titta springa scharfe Nadel, scharfe medlich welche nähen, is gewohnt von Nacht schon Hadel, in einem Club mit medlich nähen, in einem Club mit medlich nähen. Stiller Wort wird nennen Hadel, wegen mir Kommentaren, stechen wird wie Nadel, seien alle stillen Herren, seien alle stillen Herren. Winterfrühling, Herbst im Zimmer, alle Tägchen früh beginnen, in a schmollen, fremden Zimmer, nähen medlich Baumaschinen, nähen medlich Baumaschinen.
All right.
It actually now occurs to me that this is a schmollen Fremdenzimmer. This is a narrow, strange room.
That's right. That's right.
Enjoy our dining room.
Let's see now. Oh, this is okay. So Elizabeth, this next one, you'll recognize the melody. I think some think it's a Russian folk melody, maybe Ukrainian. And I've seen lyrics in Polish and Russian and Ukrainian, in Yiddish, which you're about to hear, in Hebrew. And Elizabeth will tell you why we pick this song for this particular day?
Well, we would be remiss not to mention that today is 9/11, and many of us were actually in New York on that day. All of us feel horrible about what happened. And so I picked this little Yiddish song because I felt it captured
Yeah,
the
in a
sentiment.
very beautiful, simple but beautiful way.
Where is the little street? Where is the little house?
Mm.
Where is the maiden whom I love? Here is the little street. Here is the house. Here is the maiden whom I love. Where is the little brook and where is the mill? Where is the little village? Where is the synagogue? Here's the little brook. Here's the mill. Here is the little village and here is the synagogue. Outside of the house, my pain is great. All that remains now is a dream. No more little street, no more house, no more little maiden whom I love. Wie ist das Kessel, wie ist die Stieb, wie ist das Mädel, Chabrib. Ort ist das Kessel, ort ist die Stieb, ort ist das Mädel, Chabrib. Ort ist das Kessel, ort ist die Stieb. Ort ist das Mädel, wie ist das Teichel, wie ist die Milch, wie ist das Tafel, wie ist die Schild. Ort ist das Teichel, ort ist die Milch. Ort ist das Tafel, ort ist die Schild. Ort ist das Teichel, ort ist die Milch. Ort ist das Tafel, ort ist die Schild. Allein in dem Stiebel, mein Nähtiges Weiß, Herz ist gebleibt nach und nach Weiß. Nicht mehr das Kessel, nicht mehr die Stieb, nicht mehr das Mädel, wenn ich hab lieb. Nicht mehr das Kessel, nicht mehr die Stieb, nicht mehr das Mädel.
Bravo. Bravo.
Yeah, thank you.
Bravo.
And our hearts go out to all those who lost loved ones, and all those who are who suffered also from the toxic air and everything. And so some trying times we've all been through. Okay, so our next tune is what is it?
Mitten Fiddle.
Oh yes. So I'll introduce this one. So here's an instrumental piece called Mitten Fiddle with my fiddle. And the little story behind this is, some of you know, as Avi said in that very generous introduction. So I'm an ethnographer who's had a love strong love and interest of studying Yiddish culture, particularly classical music, but many aspects of Yiddish culture, but not just to study it, but to find things that we've missed or lost, unearth after the Holocaust, and then to bring it back to life. And for the, Lador Lador, fin Doris to Doris, from generations to generations. And so I was in the library in 1981 in Bucharest. It was a winter time, rather cold, so I was happy to be in a warm room. And this lady was very helpful. I was able to explain through sort of broken Yiddish and German. My Yiddish was not as good as it is now, and it's still a gosh Yiddish. But anyhow, and she said, "Oh, we have some sheet music, some notes here, some Jewish music." So, oh, fantastic! She brought me these loose notes, and I was looking. It didn't look like it had been looked in years. So I was so excited, and I'm looking, and I'm pizzicatoing quietly, and then I come back to her in about an hour, and I say, "Can I Xerox? I'll pay for whatever the cost is." And she, "Xerox? Yeah, this is Bucharest. We don't have Xerox. We're lucky to have the lights on right now." I said, "Oh," but she says, "You're welcome to come back here and spend as long as you want and copy all the music." So I actually came for about 3 days in a row, many hours, and copied as much as I could. So this is a tune that I copied that was collected in the 50s. It's much older than that, but meaning it had been put down, codified, so to speak, in this book. And it's called With My Fiddle, Mitten Fiddle.
And I will try and help you.
Oh,
Mit mein ukulele.
Mitten Ukulele. Philip, brought all the way back from Bucharest. Okay, so let's see.
So in our band Hot Pastrami,
Yes.
I just thought I would mention we have some extraordinary musicians, many of whom you got to see in the film, none of whom were playing ukulele, but you know, we have to do something while we're stuck inside. So you have this amazing.
Oh, I think she's actually for only playing baritone ukulele for some months.
amazing.
Yes, right. Yes, a shout out to Hot Pastrami, those that can't be with us today, Norbert Stachel, Peter Stan, David Lick, Sprocket, Fred Benedetti, Jeff McCarrick, Trip Sprague.
Not that we're seeing our musicians in San
Duncan.
Diego either.
Right. Okay.
So we chose this next
this is a
song
good tune,
actually because we wanted to make a comment about everything that's happening around the country right now and people out on the streets and all the outpouring of activism, and it's not new for us. This is a song that was collected by Moshe Baragovsky. Them vel medinen brida, whom shall we serve, brothers? In the Tsar's army, Jewish young men were conscripted for 25 years. So it's really a whole lifetime of being under the boot. And so this song is for anyone who's feeling like that today. Whom shall we serve, brothers? We'll serve the Russian Tsar. It's not good to serve the Russian Tsar because he bathes in our blood. Where will we go? We'll go to the cold barracks. On what will we sleep? We'll sleep on the cots. It's not good to do those things because he bathes in our blood. What will we eat? We're going to eat borscht with bread. What will we do? We'll polish the brigadier's boots. But it's not good to do those things because he bathes in our blood. For any singers out there, I'll just tell you what's very interesting to me as a singer about this song is that you're going to hear me do a lot of glissandi and note bending. And those were actually annotated in Baragovsky's music.
Vem dan medinen bride, vem dan medinen bride, dem russischen Kaiserbride, dem russischen Kaiserbride, dem russischen Kaiser, den es nicht gibt, ballettet sich bald in unser Blut. Dem russischen Kaiser, den es nicht gibt, ballettet sich bald in unser Blut. Wie je dann sein Bride, wie je dann sein Bride, in die kalte Kasanes Bride, in die kalte Kasanes Bride, in die kalte Kasanes, den es nicht gibt, ballettet sich bald in unser Blut, in die kalte Kasanes, denen es nicht gibt, ballettet sich bald in unser Blut. Ah, frische Wände schlafen Bride, ah, frische Wände schlafen Bride, auf die Heule Keukes Bride, auf die Heule Keukes Bride, auf die Heule Keukes schlafen es nicht gibt, ballettet sich bald in unser Blut, auf die Heule Wo wir essen Brüder, wo wir essen Brüder, Bosch mit Bräutbrüder, Bosch mit Bräutbrüder, Bosch mit Bräutbrüder ist doch nicht geht, dann wird es zerfallen in unser Blut. Bosch mit Bräutbrüder ist doch nicht geht, dann wird es zerfallen in unser Blut. Wo dann mit ihm Brüder, wo dann mit ihm Brüder, der Bruder dich die Wotschitschen Brüder, der Bruder dich die Wotschitschen Brüder, der Bruder dich die Wotschitschen Brüder, weil sich von unser Blick, der Bruder dich die Wotschitschen ist nicht jetzt, weil sich Boden in unser Blick.
All right.
Bravo, bravo.
So we have a couple more tunes before we bring back our illustrious Marshalik, Avi Hoffman, to Freck the Frage of us, of Elizabeth and myself. Let's see.
Well, we have a little Yontif surprise.
Oh, do we ever? Yes, we do. Let me
Do
just.
we ever?
Okay, let me just make sure I got it. So,
Gavalt, do we ever?
so you will hear, yes, Yontif is soon upon us. 57,
81.
81. Whew, Gaval, the years go by. So sing along, hum along when you hear this melody. I think it's appropriate for those who say Shana Tova, or those who say Shana Toiva, or those who say Asisa Naya Gezint Gebench Naya Yor, or you just say Happy New Year. And so you'll hear the traditional version from Elizabeth, beautifully sung. And then I'm going to go to a similar version. You'll recognize it. But what's interesting is I learned this melody back in 2016. I was doing some ethnographic research in Transnistria. It's this sort of, it's part of Moldova, but it's sort of its own state. The Russians went there in 92, 93. You can look it up. There was a war. Of course, no one really remembers that war in the world. So many other things were happening. But, and there's still Yidden, not many, but in this part of Bessarabia, in the town of Shirok, there's some noted Roman musicians, and one named Artur Sarari remembers still playing Jewish melodies with his father for Jews that were having weddings in the 60s, 70s. And he said, oh, yeah, I'm going to play you a waltz that they marched down to. So what's interesting is how we know it as this beautiful Rosh Hashanah lead, Niggin, and how they played it for a waltz as they marched the Chussin and the Kala at the Chippa. So interesting. So you'll hear a version from Shurok.
And when you hear Yo play that version, he'll play it the way the Baron played it for you.
The way the Baron, exactly. The best I can. Though he played it on the accordion, harmonika. So I'll do my best on the fiddle.
So we wish you all a Ziesen and Gesinnten bessere neue Welt.
Yes, the best one. Neue Jahr.
Neue Jahr. Neue Welt in the neue Jahr.
Avinu Malkeinu Amalka Imanu Avinu Malkeinu Chanenu Laneinu Ki ein banu masi Aseh Imanu Tzedaka v'chesed Aseh Imanu Tzedaka v'chesed V'hoshi'enu Say mana tzedakah v'chesed v'chienu.
All right. So, and you know, for those who are musicologists or just lovers of Yiddish history and culture, it's interesting how tunes transfer. So here we know this as a solemn, beautiful melody that we will be pouring our hearts out via Zoom. Most of us, if you do attend any kind of shul service, and here they heard the melody and they turned it into this kind of a waltz for a chasanet. So our last tune we'll do is the beauty of this, why I love Yiddish, this great Yiddish festival that Avi's doing, and of course all the work that Avi's done in Miriam, as well as all the other wonderful artists that have been participating, is we're, as Avi said, you know, we're looking at the past, looking at what was lost, bringing it back, but also bringing it forward to the Kippendika site, right, to the future, what will be for those, for example, those who were 13 in the year 2007 are now 20. And so when I think about it, no. Those who were 13 in 2007, how many years ago? Oh, that's 13 years ago. So they're 26, right? Meaning this is the bar mitzvah year.
You'll notice that it was that on that copious resume, there was not mathematician.
Right. So for those marking your calendars, October 12th, 2020 will be the bar mitzvah year of the great day on Elder Street. This wonderful photo up here with all these musicians and artists and singers, including Avi Hoffman. So the point being is this last song is one I wrote because I think it's good to extol and remember the past, but also bring it forth for new generations so that years to come, they'll say, oh, these songs that were written then, you know, they don't have to only go back to the 16th, 17th, 18th century, but they can go back to the 21st century. So this is called Ben Abramen, and I wrote it while we were doing some research in the province of Moldavia in a small, literally a dorf, not a shtetl, a dorf. Once there were a few Yidden, no more Jews now, and the only ones that remembered Jewish music were the Roma, the Tzigayner, the Gypsies, the Roma, the proper term. And so I wrote this in honor of
Jan
Roman, and I called it Ben Abramen, the son of Abramen.
And what I'm so lucky about is, so Yael wrote this instrumental, and you might recognize it because we played it in the film. Everybody jammed on it. But since then, Yael wrote some Yiddish lyrics. So I'm the one that gets to do them. So until you start doing them.
I won't.
So, and You're gonna play this?
Yeah, I'll do a style of
Style.
playing that I learned from the Roma, that they would play a certain way, sometimes with a whistle, and how you hear the strings, because often they said this is the wind reminding us of the tunes that we forgot but have not lost. You just have to be ready, and the spirit has to be the right moment for you to enter you, and then you say, so I remember that melody.
The English, by the way, for these wonderful new lyrics. Come inside to drink red wine. I want to dance and drink and shout. Come inside to eat and stuff yourselves on stuffed cabbage with goose cracklings. Come inside to hear the musicians and gaze at the two dancers. Come inside to hear the musicians and put your pennies on the table. Revel, people, through the night. Musicians play with joy and passion. Klezmers play a circle dance. Pull on those strings without shame. Dancing and drinking without end. To be tipsy is the custom. Klezmers play a broom dance. She's all decked out with her garland. We're going to play pranks and play all night long and laugh and play jokes on others through the night. Is the music.
Gemeinsam trinken heute Wein, die Durst tanzen, trinken und schreien. Gemeinsam essen und fressen, herrliches mit Glücknis. Gemeinsam Henrik Klezmers Garten heute die Tänze zwei. Gemeinsam Henrik Klezmers Play Flauschen auf den Tisch. Hohen Menschen durch die Nacht. Klezmer spielt den Frieden brennt. Klezmer spielt den Tod. Reißt die Hunger schon. Schon den Gästen, wir spielen, lachen, spaßen durch die Nacht. Klezmer spielt den Felsentanz. Was wir uns aussehen mit der Kranz. Tanzen, trinken und marschieren. Sein Volk kostet für sich bei mir. Hohen Menschen durch die Nacht. Klezmer spielt den Frieden brennt.
Bravo, man.
Everybody. Give it a quick
Bravo,
marketing.
bravo, yeah. Yeah, Yale and Elizabeth, bravo. Wow, that is such a cool number. When are you
Yes.
guys gonna start, when are you guys going to start doing hip hop? I
Yeah,
want to know.
we will.
Yale is going to, Yale, the next activity for Yale during the sequestration, if it goes on much longer, is he's going to be working on his breakdancing.
There you go. I can't wait.
That's
You know
it.
what? But, lach lach, aber lach nicht. We've had one specific event that was a hip hop Jewish musical based on a story from 1902.
Wow.
The kosher meat boycott
Oh,
from 1902, which I had never heard about.
that
sounds great.
You know what? And that's significant because the people who had the power were the women.
That's right. It was the women who did it, and they went and they burned stores and they rioted. All these religious women because kosher meat prices. So anyway, this guy here that I met, Jeffrey Mustard, turned it into a hip hop musical,
Wow.
which is like insane. And then Josh Dolgan, when we did the concert with Josh Dolgan, he did a bunch of hip hop Yiddish stuff.
Yeah, oh sure.
So, I think the future of Yiddish might be in hip hop, baby.
Listen,
There you go.
I think the beauty of any culture, obviously Yiddish, Jews, okay, but I play Irish music and I don't think I have Irish blood in me. I play Swedish music. So in other words, a good music is for any culture.
Well, you know what, Yale? It's interesting that you say that because one of the things I've been doing a lot lately is searching for interesting things that I don't know. And what I'm finding more and more is that there are these bands all over the world, mostly non-Jews, who have discovered klezmer music. And they're playing all this stuff. And it's like you read the names, and it's like Christian, Bucacci. It's like, okay, I get it.
Monsignor Bologna.
Yeah.
By the way, this reminds me with the names is, so we did a gig at the Jewish Center in Tokyo. And the rabbi there's name was Rabbi Antonio Del Jesu, which is about as big a stretch, I think, for a rabbi as ever had.
Del Jesu.
Yeah. Actually, my mother, who, by the way, my mother sends her love and
Oh,
regards.
we love your mother. She's the most.
Give her kisses from us.
She is the oak to your acorn. She's amazing. We love her.
She's watching in the other room right now.
Oh.
Shalom Aleichem, Miriam.
Hi, Miriam.
Oh, there you go. Hi, Mom. In any event, I forgot what I was going to say already because we started talking about my mom.
Yeah. Oh, something about names or something? Del Jesu?
Oh, yes. I was going to
Practitioners
say,
of klezmer.
one of the great gigs I ever had was in Corpus Christi, where they put me in a church surrounded by Jesus hanging on the cross, and I'm doing Too Jewish. So, it was a very interesting gig.
Isn't that what Yehoshua said when they took him? Wait a minute, am I that Jewish?
I'm too Jewish. So guys, we don't have a lot of time because we have a 10 o'clock coming up, and I have to get at 9:45. We're doing an amazing, Lisa Gutkin is doing her indecent music.
Yes.
And she got Rebecca Teichman to come. So we don't have a lot of time.
You mean she's doing her wonderful music for indecent?
Well, it's actually called Decent Music with and by Lisa Gutkin.
Okay.
So, she's actually going to explore some other, interesting indecency in music. Yeah, well, today we had Yiddish is sexy. We've been doing a lot of, sexy Yiddish too. It's amazing. This festival really has been amazing. And I'm realizing it's probably more about me just wanting to see you guys because
Well,
I just invited everybody I know and all my great friends.
Same.
we all came to your living room.
That's right.
I mean, that is we will get through this virus, this pandemic. But the one thing that Zoom has done has been be able to bring those who, can't travel as quickly there and there or whatever. We are in each other's living rooms.
Right, right. And the people are loving it. I mean, it's just, I'm looking at some of the comments right now for you guys.
What are they?
Soulful program, a wonderful way to welcome the Shabbos. Thank you so much. My father was one of the fortunate ones who escaped Auschwitz before the liberation. I feel like I'm reconnecting with that half of my heritage. Thank you. I'm a chai. I mean, it's really amazing.
It just makes me feel good.
But before I let you go, I want to really get into a little bit of a discussion, not too long, about the ethnomusicology aspect of your work. Because, there are a lot of klezmer musicians and there are a lot of people who are really, really great and do great work. But not as many people do the kind of research that you do, the ethnomusicology aspect of it. So can you talk for, just a couple of minutes about, what was like the most amazing discovery that you found going through all these places and archives? And is there any one thing that stands out as the most incredible experience or discovery?
I think I'll put two, so I'll say it quick. One is, to me now, when I hear about it, it's not so amazing. But when you're starting off and you're an empty vessel, you're learning. So when I came to Kishinev, as the Jews know it, Chisinau, as the Moldovans and Romanians call it. When I came the first time, I was with my buddy Brian, who we did our first book. It was my first book with him called The Last Jews of Eastern Europe. And we were visiting the Lederman family, and they were refuseniks. And those are people, sadly, Jews who wanted to get out of the Soviet Union, but refused visas, etc. Basically prisoners in their own country. Anyhow, she says to me, she's Russian, Jewish, and speaking some Yiddish, but she says, Yitzchak, that's my Jewish name. And I'll play classic belts and, some Yiddish theater, but I know what you really want. You want the Richter Gesang, the Alte Sachen. So I'll have a friend come over. Oh, I'm okay. And I didn't even ask. I'm just sitting there, innocent. Okay. An hour later comes this short little guy, stocky little guy, sausage-sized fingers, and he sits down on the piano and he goes like this, literally, before he doesn't even introduce himself. Okay, Red. And he looks to me and he says in Russian to her, like, what's his name? And she says, call him Yitzchak. Itzik, no, give a kick. Moldavish, Bessarabish, Romanish, klezmer, Romanish, Moldavish, Russisch. And he's like, every other chord is a different style. And he's speaking Yiddish to me and everything. And so I'm thinking he's Jewish. And then he says, oh, by the way, I'm not Jewish. I'm a Tzigan. I'm a Roma. And and hear how that interesting aspect of one persecuted minority saving another persecuted minority's a piece of their folk culture and returning it to them. Right. And that, I thought, that would always stay with me. And of course, open the portals and my interest to get more interested in Roma culture. And the other thing real quick was, I was in Budapest my first time. It was August. It was hot. I was at the seminary. No one even knew there was except people living, I guess, in Central Eastern Europe. There's a seminary there. I go. I see Rabbi Scheiber, very kind of a stern, very doctor rabbi, and you kind of quake in your boots, but he said, okay, you can go upstairs to the attic and you can study and look at our old music. So I'm looking at some sheet music and chazonish and interesting, but I was looking for some more instrumental chasana music, but I'm looking, and all of a sudden I come across and I go, holy shit, what's this? And it was music written specifically with the notes and with instruments for Purim from the early 19th century. They didn't even know they had it. And so, you know what? They allowed me to Xerox all this other music, but then he said, the rabbi doctor, nah, you can't Xerox this. This is, and so I said, oh, okay. But before the days of cell phone photography, so I took my Nikon, click, 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 and I have these slides. And and you making me think about it. I'll print it, but it's actual Purim music that was played in the early 19th century that literally, I'm sure, has not been played in 200 years.
There you go. There's a project, a Purim spiel.
Yes.
I love it. The modern, ancient Purim spiel.
Exactly. There you go. Well, Avi,
Okay.
we'll work on this.
Let's go. I'm ready. You know what?
Who else
The
you gonna give
world
it to?
is
Nobody
our
better.
oyster. The
That's
world
it.
is our oyster now. We
It
can
is.
do everything and anything.
Right.
I'm amazed. People from all over the world have been coming to this festival and enjoying the work. We're bringing the entire Yiddishkeit world together electronically. And it's, Zoom. Somebody said something very interesting today. Yiddish as a language had no country ever. Zoom has no country. It's not any one place. And somehow Yiddish and Zoom have found each other in a way that has allowed something like this festival and all the amazing, there's so many festivals. Ashkenaz just did it.
Yeah.
Klez Camp, everybody's doing these things now. And the entire world of Yiddishkeit is coming together, and it's beautiful. And I'm very proud to be a part of it.
Yes.
And I'm so honored. Go ahead.
The next fest, so let's call it Zoomish.
Zoomish. There you go.
Zoomish.
When you can reach through the screen and pick up some food, then it will be Yiddish.
Well, every morning at 11 o'clock, we're doing Yiddish cooking classes with
Oh, wonderful.
Rochel
Check it out.
and Eva Yachtovich from the Forward. So there
she's
you
wonderful.
go.
Oh,
Yep.
she is.
Anyway, I have to let you go.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you,
I-
Amy, and all your people that have been working behind the scenes. Thank you.
Yes, so many. I cannot tell you how honored and pleased I am to have
thank
you
you.
guys be a part of it.
Oh, Avi.
And I look forward to so many more things.
Yes, we look forward to having you back on the West Coast, and we'll visit you on the East Coast. That's a promise.
Halavai.
Halavai.
Remember, we were talking about you guys coming to our Yiddish Fest here that we were going to do live.
And
here we are. So now we're here. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Ashenim and herzlichen Dank, my friends. Mwah.
Listen,
Thank you.
I
Elizabeth,
get
I don't know what
jealous.
you see in him. What do you possibly see in him? Any talent? The man has no talent. He can't do any.
Well,
I mean, really.
Avi, I will save that conversation for the sexy Yiddish conversation.
There you go. Now I understand. Now I understand everything. All right, Chevra.
Why do you think I married her?
Good. Well, thank you guys, and I'll see you.
Bye, everybody.
Seid gesund.
Bye.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to stay long because I have to get ready for the 10 o'clock, which is Lisa Gutkin, Indecent Music with and by Lisa Gutkin. She has several special friends and a very, very special guest who I am just blown away by. And so I will leave you with our sponsors, fill out our survey, support our work online, and we will see you soon. Ashenim in herzlichen Dank.
My name is Chaim Shaked. I'm a professor at the University of Miami, and I'm the director of the George Feldenkrais program in Judaic Studies, and I'm the founding director of the Sue and Leonard Miller Center for Contemporary Judaic Studies, which is a university-wide center at the University of Miami. If we look today at the Jewish world, the Jewish communities in most countries still have segments which adhere to the old definition of who is a Jew, but much larger segments today consider themselves Jewish because they're part of a tradition, part of a culture. One such important element has become known more recently as Jewish peoplehood, a subject which is of great interest to me personally and to the programs which I am developing. Jewish peoplehood includes, for instance, a very important component of the Yiddishkeit initiative. And that's why when I heard of this idea, right away, I outstretched my hand and we are developing a partnership.